this is KRBrickBot, and this is a nostalgic review of an old Tobot I got this year from Amazon. Evolution X. So the packaging, it's a unique 6-sided concave hourglass shape, and this international version is looking rather simplistic. Not as fancily decorated as the original Korean packaging and the original international packaging. Yeah, so this is the simplified third iteration apparently. Its simplicity in the mostly white lining and the tire marks here and the orange striping on the bottom and the toe key action. Power up. Upgraded with Evolution X. And the transformation from the actual physical toy to a toy stock photo mid-transformation to a digital render car mode. The orange pattern and the tire-like gray pattern is carried over to this side of the box. And the other side of the box with the colors inversed. A change-up difficulty of 2. Easy transformation with 2 key points. Toe key activates robot mode. Robot to car. Superposable. Well, we'll see about that. And a QR code for the YouTube channel and such. And the products may vary. Packaged like this. The inside of the box looks like this. The silver reflective backing. Just holding onto the twisty ties with his fists. And tied in 2 places to the back. And the golden toe key tied right there. Starting off with his compact, brand new, fictionalized, axe-stylized SUV mode. A rather compact SUV. And I say compact because even though this is not a licensed Kia vehicle shrunken down, it is still a little shrunk and squashed. Because compared to the wheelbase of a typical car, which is about 3.5, this is like 2.5 wheels apart. Build quality is still great. The shiny plastic, the Chinese plastic, though not as shiny as the other ABS plastic, but still pretty shiny. All of the separate colored parts are separate plastic pieces, no paint except for the silver handlebars. Windows and tires, black plastic. Roof bars and mudguard trimmings, metallic gray gunmetal plastic. The front, beige plastic. Headlights and tail lights, transparent clear and transparent red plastic. Also on the rear is this shiny golden chrome axe key slot and the gray trailer hitch for the Evolution Shield trailer add-on not included. And although there are obvious robot mode panel cuts, they are stylized and angled panel cuts and chrome wheels to boot. Also, it's looking curvaceously streamlined and upright blocky at the same time. Like curved bottom and blocky box car top. Also, it looks like the windows and the doors are about the same height. I mean, this thing should be a little bit narrower for most cars, but yeah, this is very high. So its short length and a bit tall height makes it a little bit of a cutesy boxy car. Yeah, I'm kind of struggling to say distinct things about the Evolution X. It's just a pretty fictitious orange car, an orange van SUV car that's pretty timeless, maybe a little quaint, a little plain compared to what Tobot's gone through nowadays. But yeah, it's just a pretty evergreen design, I guess, non-licensed. A big robot SUV is a big robot SUV. That's quite merchandisable. And of course, there were the stickers that you can turn X into a racing SUV if you want. So there are multiple options for the roof, the side doors, and the bonnet. Or the hood, and the license plate sticker. So there are 2 sets, so 2 different options. And it's mostly identical to the original Korean stickers, except this is just the plain Tobot and not the rather effectual I love Hana. And this separate small sticker sheet for the axe in the axe toe key, his chest bumper sticker, and his legs. Little leg fillers that come across right across here. It looks like they decided to process these stickers separately for the international version rather than applying them in factory, unlike the original Korean release. And this string of numbers 201000605 could be a reference to a certain date. Don't know that for sure, but it could be. But I'm not going to be applying any stickers because that's not show accurate. No stickers for the rear view mirrors though. Though I suppose you could cut out the extra silver bits to make non-reflective but shiny rear view mirrors. And while some kids might think Tobots and Carbots are generally the same, I mean, look at the styles. This looks quite different. Yeah, this is absolutely realistic and long. Even the ones that aren't realistic are still long. And this one is short and tall. Yeah, this is not in the same scale. This is quite big. You know, in fact, the Tobots are actually smaller than actual real cars in the animation. So yeah, this is a big toy of a small boy. Just going to go over the gist of the transformation. First, the gimmicky thing, plug in the key, which you can either push in or turn around to dislodge the legs. Or just simply brute force the non-functioning trunk into robot legs with a little bit of space there. This car is basically in two halves with the entire lower section on the bottom here and the entire upper section at the top. It's going to be a bit annoying. You're going to have to push this in for the optimal unlatching of the legs. Then trickingly for the simple kids, pull back these arms. And then swing that central support double piece beam into the right position and swing that head in the right way. When it all comes together and you click all those right tabs in just the right places, transformation is fairly simple really. So yeah, this is Tobot Axe's Evolution mode, his second form and the longest lasting of the series. Of course he's still orange, but his secondary color out has been changed a bit significantly. For example, the original axe had some light blue highlights, but they've all been replaced with red highlights. Also some darker red orange painted here. If you notice, yeah, this is more of an off-white beige than actual pure white. So he does have a little warmer color, tanner look to him. And overall, his robot mode has a much more blockier and straight edge angled aesthetic and appearance compared to his original axe form, which had some more subtle curves and such. But except for the bonnet, the rest of his limbs are all polygons. They're all polygons, like this very polygonical crotch piece. Still has a little axe motif in the crotch because you gotta have motifs in your crotches. And in his shins and kneecaps and those legs, yeah, they're really all blocky angles with very little curves. In his arms, shoulders, and his head, which still has that all classic axe visor, but has those really blocky edges, those really square angled edges compared to his more tapered out original curved head. But I guess he also gets some extra forehead lines and painted dark orange highlights like some cutout crosshairs. Also light piping in dark transparent plastic, though that's more relevant for his Evolution shield on colors and his redder light piping. So I guess the original axe kind of had a bit of a more home-built, made from scratch mechanical vibes with its Kibble bits and all. But I guess this is like a really more streamlined version, just a streamlined upgrade evolution. Depending on your aesthetic taste, yeah, I mean, you could like one or the other or the third. And so his Kibble cleans up better than the original version because it had the leg Kibble obstructing leg Kibble on his thighs, which is mostly relocated to his legs. Although I don't get why these are two separate pieces. These are two separate screwed pieces. It just leaves a big gappage there if it's not screwed in properly, and that's, yeah, this is pretty annoying that it's two separate pieces, but I guess they did that because they had to plug in the red transparent lights in there. Yeah, so the only really big Kibble is the classic butt flap, which is pretty fine. It's okay to have this little bit of Kibble, although you might think it would be nice if this thing could turn around, but then it wouldn't have any room for the shield on extension with these two clips and this clip. Arms are looking a little short. They're looking a little stubby. I think that's my one main complaint about this Evolution design. Just they look proportionately stubby. They only extend right to the thighs and not extending over it. So yeah, that's the one major nitpick about the appearance of Evolution X here. The other complaint in functionality would be his downgraded articulation. Unless it's the mass-produced original axe version in which he gets really good upgrades, but comparing to the original Korean 2010 Tobot axe toy, this thing has a bit of a downgrade in articulation. 1. No waist swivel because of that complex folding girder. No forward shoulder joints because it is on two parallel beams that only lets it fold up and down, and thus it really does not allow any forward or backward swivel at all. It just partially compensates for this lower shoulder joint. 5 clicks, but not enough, just enough to line it up with the window and forward enough to do this much with a little cutout notch, but not cut out enough. Elbows go at a 90, short elbows at a 90. No wrist, although it is a separate piece and it looks kind of loose. It would really help the looks if this thing could spread out beyond the door kibble. Head swivel instead of a ball socket, sinking in the chest hidey-ho. But at least his leg joints are a major evolution over his really wibbly original axe's weird, wibbly weak plastic ratchet joints. That multi-part spring and pawl comes into full effect here. Coming in at 6 clips, although these skirt flaps, non-moving skirt flaps get in the way. Forward 2 clicks. Back 1 click, butt kibble. A obtuse knee angle bend with the widest range of foot, all because of how it transforms. Nice and ratcheted. Also gotta love those multicolored sole fillers. But what other good positions can you get him in without the other accompanying thigh swivels or ankle tilts? Pretty poor upper articulation, but pretty good lower articulation. Not great, but yeah, just average, basic articulation. Size comparisons with the leader bots. The real leader bots. First off, a biker bot, but not the biker bot from Tobot. And Carbot Fron. So there is a bit of an aesthetic difference from the Tobot to Carbots in that time period. The Tobots were generally a bit bigger and bulkier than Carbots. Well, maybe not quite fair with a different car body type, but there is that quite bit of a aesthetic disparity there. Yeah, I guess, yeah, this looks much more what you would think of a Transformer, but this kind of looks like, yeah, more kid appeal design. The bigger body, the bigger bulk of it. This looks more kiddie appeal than this, although they both appeal to kids very well. I don't know what kids will think about this adult collectible third-party discontinued sale thing. I guess history-wise, 2012 is where Young Toys really evolved their Tobot toys, moving to those much more sturdier ratchet joints. This toy still holds up pretty well so that this thing can be re-released and reissued and such, just not in Korea. And I'm glad I could snatch this up on Amazon's low stock before going out for who knows how long this time, as a sentimental piece. Yeah, just a main representational shelf presence. And you might like the third Adventure Axe upgrade more because it looks better proportioned and yeah, looks cooler, has more play value with all its accessories and such, and it's anti-turned back into a Kia Soul. So the Adventure upgrade is a pretty good upgrade, yeah, improving on some aspects of Axe, but not all of them. Yeah, but I guess each of those 3 forms have its place. Be sure to tune in for next time.